guys, welcome back to Prepping in Progress. Miss K is not going to join us today. She's not feeling well. So instead of what I had challenged her to do last week, you get me and only me. I'm sorry. I apologize. So with the balloons that were seen over Alaska and Montana and then floating around and a few other things, the internet has been going wild. And the Prepper YouTube channels have been going wild. So let's discuss that, and we're going to do an experiment. So stay with me. Okay, so some of our brother channels are thinking we're looking down the barrel of war with China. Yeah. Is it possible? Possibly. There's everything from reports that they have fleets just outside of our territorial waters off of both coasts to it's all out there on the internet, and there's probably stuff that may not be true, but you know how everything on the internet is true. It's concerning. It is very concerning. And one of the things that Southern Prepper 1 and a few of the others have mentioned is the possibility of an EMP weapon. Now, we're going to discuss EMPs just a little bit, and I'm going to use layman's terms, and I'm probably not going to use the perfect terminology, and there's someone out there who's going to want to call me on it, and you're probably right. But I'm going to try to be as basic as I can. Back in the 1800s, there was an event called the Carrington Event. We're going to start with CMEs, coronal mass ejections. This is when the sun lets off a burst of radiation, and for, shall we say, the odds of it actually being lit off from our sun as we go around the planet, a single burst firing at the exact time that our planet will come into line with it to travel, to hit our planet, is rare, is extremely rare. But having said that, it's happened once in the 1800s. We are due for probably another one. And if you take into account how many times the sun launches a mass ejection versus how many times a year our planet makes its rotation around the sun, eventually it's going to happen. And this happened in the 1800s. Our technology was not at the level it is today. But there were cases of telegraph operators getting burned by touching their keys as they were trying to send Morse code. There were cases of the copper lines of the telegraph poles glowing with energy. Okay? Now, the effect today would be much different. Transformers on your power lines would blow. The theory is that anything plugged in would short out as the burst, the energy, hits the transmission line, and that acts like an antenna. The power line carries it to your house, in through the breaker box. It moves too quickly for the breakers to shut off, through the house wiring, and let's let's say, into our little Baofeng radio right here. Now, would it actually go into the Baofeng radio, or would it stop at the contacts and just fry the charger? That's a good question. Why am I going to a natural event? Because of the effect of it is very similar to an electromagnetic pulse weapon. The way to achieve that is to light off a nuclear missile in the atmosphere. There's a pulse. Now the difference is a CME is a single boom. A pulse actually moves faster. That is why it's fast enough to get past your breaker box and your surge protector. It creates such a surge so quickly that by the time your surge protector registers it and goes to cut off, it's already past it and has fried your gizmos. Now there's a lot of theories. There is the theory that 80% of vehicles would still work. That's in the EMP Commission. But the EMP Commission never released what vehicles they tested to come up with that information for the EMP report. Coincidentally, that report was released, 9/11, 2001? Or was it the day that the 9/11 report was released and so no one paid attention to it? It's one of the two. Yeah. So how do you beat an EMP pulse? How do you preserve your electronics? You're a ham radio operator. How do you keep your gear safe? Well, one is to have it completely disconnected from any kind of power source, any kind of antenna line, and every time you go to use it, take the time to plug it all up. In addition to that, having it in a bunker / basement 8 feet underground should protect you from the pulse, in theory. Now, to our knowledge, an EMP has never been released as a targeted weapon. However, they did notice some of these things while they were doing testing, I believe at the Bikini Atoll. And they noticed this on the ships that were monitoring and a few other places where they've done testing. So, yeah. That's something that one of the areas where they had data and they started pulling it and putting it all together and figuring things out. Alright. So everyone's got a theory on how to set up a Faraday cage. Now a Faraday cage is generally an insulated wire and metal box, or just a box that is insulated, no contact with anything on the outside, where you can store your gear and it's going to be safe. Thick concrete walls, metal tape around all gaps, something to radiate it out as opposed to letting it in. Okay. So a while back, we got this book, the No Grid Survival Projects book, and we said we were going to do some playing with it. So today, Microwave Faraday Cage. One of the easiest Faraday cages you probably already have in your home is a household microwave oven. Microwaves have a Faraday cage built into them to protect us from the radiation that the magnetron produces. Not all microwave ovens are created equal, and before you think that yours will be an effective Faraday cage, you need to conduct a couple of tests. Now, it gives two tests, one with a cell phone and one with a radio. We're going to do the radio test today and see what happens. Now, keeping in mind that this is all theory, because on your microwave oven, when you can see through the microwave oven, there is a mesh window here. Some people think that because of the narrowness of the pulse wave, because it's an electric wave, it's just like a sound wave, it's just like what is being picked up on the microphone and will be transmitted into the computer mixer when I go to make this video. The narrowness of the wave, some people think, could actually make it through that mesh. So keep in mind, this is all theory, but what we're going to do is, you can do the same test with a radio by placing it inside the microwave. Position it so you can see the display. If the microwave door is not transparent, put a camera inside to record the radio display during the test. We're going to close the door and transmit on another radio set to the same frequency. If the radio inside the microwave does not receive the signal, you know that the microwave blocks radio frequencies. So, if it blocks radio frequencies, it should block electrical frequencies, because they are electrical frequencies. Now, this is the No Grid Survival Projects book. You can get it online, and I think I found it through Facebook or something. But it's by Michael Major, Amber Robinson, Claude Davis, and James Walton. 70 ingenious projects that you can build. I seem to remember when I showed this to you way back when, I said we were going to do some of the projects. In fact, the bathroom sink that is attached to the toilet that we're setting up in the tiny home is one of the projects in there. So, we have unplugged the microwave. This radio has been sitting on the charger. It's on. This radio is charged. And just so you guys can tell, when I key the mic here, you can see that the light comes on. At least it was. Let's see what happened. There we go. Now it's working. I probably pulled the doodad a little bit. KF5 YGB radio check. And yes, I can hear myself. So the microwave is unplugged, is off. And of course it doesn't want to stand up. So we'll try to put it right there. Well now, isn't this interesting? This microwave will definitely not work as a Faraday cage, KF5 YGB. And yes, I can hear it. So, that's not going to work. That is receiving radio signals inside. I thought it would. you wonder what other microwaves wouldn't work. Now, I have read about people having this test actually work for them. What do you guys think? Should we start testing microwaves wherever we can find them? I'm intrigued. Alright, y'all. Today, we blind tested something and it didn't work. Another project in that book is an ammo can Faraday cage. Maybe we'll try that next week. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. And we're going to keep testing things until we figure out what works and what doesn't. Alright, y'all. You have a great one. Happy Sabbath. Stay cool.